So hi, how are you? I'm Piotr.
I'm good. I'm Logal.
I'm a Polish journalist living here in Barcelona and
Mm.
super excited to talk to you. So
Same.
I hope we're gonna have a great time together.
It's gonna be great.
So this is like the finish line for you. So how did you manage like discovering your queerness, embracing it, given the cultural context you've been moving through?
To be honest, I always knew that I was queer. I didn't have to discover it. And I genuinely believe that most queer people know that they're queer. It's just that I had the space to normalize between me and myself because there wasn't a conversation about queerness, not a negative nor a positive one. So I thought that like boys can be attracted to girls and they could be attracted to boys and girls like vice versa. But then like expressing that out loud when I was 14 in my small city on the Mediterranean made me realize that it wasn't the case. But then as I mentioned, you know, when I moved to Damascus and I saw like a community of queer, femme, loud and visible individuals in one street in Damascus, it's like, that makes more sense, you know? And there's a lot that I learned from that community because it's a community that is very structured in Damascus with a hierarchy to it. One maybe doesn't think that when you think of like queerness in Syria, but there was a hierarchy of families, older queers adopting younger queers and teaching them how to be safe, what to do, how to navigate danger and so on, because you don't have your families to tell you all of that.
Yeah.
So there was this sense of family in the queer community in Syria, and that kind of reflects on how I am today with maybe young queer people that I get to interact with. I always have like a motherly approach to them, you know. I want them to be safe and I want them to be good, and I got that from my community, you know. Sorry. So, holding space again.
Yeah.
There we go.
So advocating for LGBTQ plus rights in Middle East and among refugees has been a big part of what you do. What do you consider to be the biggest challenge of what you do?
I would say the biggest challenge is or has been accepting that not many people has made it as deep into certain matters as you have. And with that comes maybe giving some people grace and giving people the space to learn. It's sometimes frustrating, you know, when you talk about something and people don't necessarily get it from the first time you say it. And yeah, just maybe accepting that not many people have experienced what you've experienced and have come as far as you do. And it doesn't make you a better or worse person, it just makes the journey different. And accepting that people go through different journeys when it comes to these questions. Sometimes there's a challenge, you know, because you have to remind yourself that it's, you know, it's a work in progress for other humans too.
But it's, I guess, the most important part is if they're like open to learn.
Of course, of course. Even if someone isn't open to learn, in my opinion, it's maybe now they're not open to learn, you know, but maybe with a bit of grace they would be open to learn in the future. That's my philosophy, you know. Maybe not many people would agree with it.
You mentioned before that in Barcelona you found like this perfect balance of what you are looking for. But did you find here the queer community that you feel like a part of now?
100%. I love how open this city is to queerness. Maybe it's the people in it that not maybe, most likely it's the people in it that made it this open. I love the fact that there's different communities here that one could fit into. It's not one aspect of queerness that exists in this city or LGBTQAI-ness, let's say. There's different communities, different places, different vibes, different mindsets where one could fit. For sure, it doesn't feel like a herd type of mentality. It's a very liberal and progressive and open-minded and fluid type of energy in this place. So there's a community for everyone, I would say, here in this city.
Let's talk about your work. This is the most exciting part for me because you are a singer, songwriter, and a writer. And I feel like your work is very deeply personal. Do you think this is the way to connect with people, to share your own story, your own struggles?
You know, funny thing is that like usually when I say to people that I'm a singer-songwriter and I'm a writer, there's this romanticized idea about it,
Of course.
you know. But to me, it's such a lonely job. I love it, but it's such a lonely experience. It's a very therapeutical. You go through a lot of self-therapy when you're writing and you're expressing and you're making, creating. And I feel like a lot of the times when I'm doing something, it starts with me wanting to heal a part of myself that is broken. But then some way, somehow, it finds way to maybe help people with their broken parts as well. But it's not the intention when I'm creating it, I would say. But in a way, it's maybe the authenticity of me wanting to talk about this experience or that experience, or to tell a story of this society or that society, kind of becomes a space for other people to see themselves, or see their pain or see their happiness, etc., etc. So it's not an intentionally, dedicated to heal people, but sometimes it does, because I've been healed by people that don't know who I am, you know what I mean, by their work and so on. So I think it's just the beauty of creation is that you create it for your own pain, but then it finds its way into other people's.
Okay, so if people want to become familiar with your art and they want to support you, what should they do? Where should they go?
They can find me at Logal Kako everywhere. Easy. LOGALKAKO. YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Snapchat if you want to send nudes,
Okay.
everywhere. Yeah.
Well, thank you for this conversation, and you all know what to do now.
Yeah. Genuinely, thank you so much for this. It was really fun. I love the holding spaces that we had, the synchronized energy.
With our little nail.
That was really nice. Thank you for, making a space very comfortable for me to blah blah a lot. I hope it makes sense,
I hope we blah 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 more in the future.
100%.
Yeah.
We should do that. But yeah, thank you again.
Thank you
for that.
And thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully we're gonna see you again in our next episode. Thank you so much, and see you. Bye.
Can you do that?
No.